Happy Super Bowl to all who celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you're like me, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. FanDuel has so many ways for you to end the season with a W, or 2, or 3. Not only can you bet on who will win Super Bowl 58, but FanDuel also has bets for which player will score a touchdown, how many points will be scored, and so much more. New customers, join today and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/sportsfan to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/sportsfan. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 plus and present in Michigan. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
From an undisclosed broadcasting location.
This is a test. For the next 60 seconds, this station will conduct a test of the emergency broadcast system.
America, here comes the relief from the pain. Unapologetically. This is Lock and Load with Bill Frady.
And we are talking to Rick Ector, the director. How goes it, sir?
Hey, man, not so bad, man. Not so bad. You know, the weather is actually, get this, 43 degrees here in Metro Detroit. I'm in Detroit proper, man, within the geographical borders. And there are 43 degrees registering on the thermostat, man. So I'm doing great. You know what? It's not as warm as it is in your neck of the woods, in your part of the country, South Carolina, man. Well, how many inches of mercury do you have in your thermostat?
Inches of mercury on my thermostat. Right now it's 55.
Oh, what does it register in terms of degrees 55, on the thermostat?
55.
55. So you guys got it better than us, man. Only 12 degrees better, but I'm a little disappointed, man. I'm disappointed. You guys only have 50 degrees, and we're at 43, man. We're at 43.
Yeah.
No snow on the ground, gentle breeze. It's a beautiful day, man. Now, not looking at the daily newspapers online, though. I mean, yeah, that stuff is still happening, man, you know, and it's really sad, man. You know, you say, for example, you look at a story and you see this one story I was looking at today. Guy was working in, you know, a regular part of town. You know, there's no affluence anywhere around there. And he's just merely taking out the trash and throwing it into the dumpster. And lo and behold, there's a couple of dudes there with guns, and they shot and killed him. Took his car, but you know what? For what? And they even described the car. The car wasn't even like attractive. It was a late model car. It was physically unattractive. The thing barely ran. The story even gave details that he only paid like $1,000 for it a few years ago. You know,
right.
So it's just crazy, man. But other than, you know, this random violence, the beautiful weather and the sun shining has me in a good mood right now. And you know what? I'm on the air with the one and only Bill Frady, Lock and Load.
Well, it probably has more to do with the weather, though. It would be my thought.
Come on now. This gruff old guy stick that you like to employ on the radio, man. I know if anyone else listening doesn't know, I know that you're a great guy, man.
Oh.
And, not so gruff that you portray.
You know, I'm not trying to be gruff or anything. I just, you know, right now we're going through this stuff politically here in South Carolina, and they're about to make a gigantic mistake, and they're out there, and I don't understand politicians who think they can please everybody.
Well, you can't please everyone,
right? And they're making they're making some calculations based on a bunch of dumb ideas, and they don't know how to win. That's the biggest issue. They don't know how to win. But anyway, I'm going to shut up. I know you got better things.
Man, look. Listening to you opine on the state of affairs in South Carolina, your local area, man. I've heard people do this before, and get this. They usually do it when they have an epiphany and they decide that if we can't find a good person to do this role, to support, this thing called freedom and gun rights and personal safety and great communities, families, schools, they usually find that they become self-motivated to take up that mantle and run, man. You know what? Are we going to announce the start of the Bill Frady campaign for Congress here on the Lock and Load Show?
No, we are not.
We're not.
We're not. We will not be doing that. And I will. I'm happy to tell you why. I'm happy to tell you
why.
I'm happy to tell you why, because
there's a lot of things that ails us, man. But I feel your passion. Go ahead. Why wouldn't you do it?
I have seen a lot of guys go to in politics in various ways and means. I've seen a lot of them come and go. Mm-hmm. And there's something that happens when they get in office that I can't explain. There's some, you get somebody and you think, well, like, we had a guy here in South Carolina that made it to Congress during the Tea Party wave. Named Trey Gowdy. Now, Trey Gowdy was a very well-known prosecutor when he was in Spartanburg here in South Carolina. Okay. Very well-known. And when he came in and rolled in and took the seat, we thought this was going to be a new day. And we had four freshmen going up there. We had Trey Gowdy, Tim Scott, Mick Mulvaney, and Jeff Duncan. Of those four, only I think Jeff Duncan is going to quit. Mick Mulvaney's already he left Congress to work for the Trump administration, and now he's out. And Trey Gowdy quit. So Tim Scott's all of us left.
Yeah, he's doing TV. He's doing media now, right?
Yeah, he's doing TV. Yeah. And because of that, I look at them and Tim Scott has managed to maintain. Jeff Duncan changed. Trey Gowdy changed. Mick Mulvaney, I don't know enough about him to say one way or the other. If I had to guess, though, I would guess he did change to a degree because he vanished without a trace. He was actually pretty tough when he was in Congress. Okay. But he got out of there. He was the first one to get out when he went to the Trump administration. But there's something that happens to these guys when they get in office to where they just sort of forget everything that got them there in the first place, or at least it seems that way. And the reason I'm not going to run for Congress is I'm not going to lose the edge. Okay. That's it. I'm not. Well, I don't even know that I would win, and I'm not going to run if I'm not going to win. I mean, that's a.
Well, yeah, it's like, why do it? But you know what? You're fighting for the soul of America. You'd be fighting for the soul of South Carolina, man. You would be that beacon that everyone can look to and assess where they are currently and see how far away they are from you to know where they stand for those quaint concepts such as freedom, liberty, guns, America, Yeah. You're that measuring stick, man. But hey, look. Public office is not for everyone, man. It for sure is a tough job. You're trying to appease a lot of different people, and you have to campaign over and over again. I'm even partial to some extent to the idea of term limits, man, because some people get so entrenched in office, man, that they forget, I think, why they're there.
Everybody that does think that way, that gets into office, change their mind. We had a guy that was well, I'll have to tell you about this in the next segment because we're coming up on the first break. But we had a guy that was in Congress, and he went up there, and his whole promise was, I will term limit myself. And When we get back, I will tell you the other part of that story. But while we are here, as we get ready to go to that break, please tell everybody how to find you.
I am Rick Ector, NRA Director Ector. I can be found all over the internet. Catch me at my blog, Legally Armed in Detroit, DetroitCCW.com. I'm on all the social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. And yes, there's a few entries with me and the one and only Bill Frady from Lock and Load.
Something like that. There's something like that out there. Anyway, when we get back, I will tell Rick the end of this story and everything. And then we'll move on and we'll talk about something much more fun and gooder. This is Lock and Load. We'll be right back.
Happy Super Bowl to all who celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you're like me, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. FanDuel has so many ways for you to end the season with a W, or 2, or 3. Not only can you bet on who will win Super Bowl 58, but FanDuel also has bets for which player will score a touchdown, how many points will be scored, and so much more. New customers, join today and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/sportsfan to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/sportsfan. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 plus and present in Michigan. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
Welcome back. Talking to Rick Ector, the director. This is Lock and Load. And I was about to tell you about a politician, wasn't I?
Yes, you were going to conclude this anecdote that you were sharing with me and your listening audience.
So, his name was Bob Inglis, and when he went in, he said, I will run on a whole thing about term limits. And he went in, and he did 3 terms, and he pulled out. And he was out for 1 term, and then he ran again. And
so why did he go back?
No. So when he was running again the second time, he had an epiphany about, I need to reach across the aisle more often and work with my colleagues on the other side of the aisle to find consensus.
Common ground.
Common ground, right?
There's no common ground with those rascals, man.
I know. And he runs something, and he tried. He ran. He was elected in 1992, and he served from 93 to 98.
Okay.
He tried to challenge Senator Fritz Hollings in 98. He was reelected to Congress in 2004, and then he lost reelection in 2010 in the Tea Party. And he started something called Energy and Enterprise Initiative and a few other things. And since then, he's been sort of the sometimes he's the useful idiot on some of the left-sided shows that are out there. You know, the Republican who talks bad about the Republican Party. Because he had this epiphany. But when he went up there, you know, he was Captain Conservative.
It's amazing how that can happen sometimes.
And I don't know what it is. I really don't, because I've seen some very good guys go up there. I've seen some really good guys go up there.
I think they go up there with the best of intentions, and then they start looking around the political landscape, and then being in office is more important than the reason why they're there, I think, in some cases. And so, yeah, some people make some political compromises, and they stray from the political ideas they had when they first ran. unfortunate, but it happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in my state, we've got a couple of self-appointed kingmakers who rarely make any kings. They don't even, they don't do too many princes. Most of the time, it just looks like a bunch of court jesters that they parade out there. And I talked to one politician today that I'm not going to name, and dude was a Tea Party guy, right? And what was the Tea Party for? They were for term limits. He's going to shoot down the permitless carry bill on his vote. His vote will be one of the votes. I mean, he's one of however many there are in the House. And he's going to vote for non-concurrence. And he's going to do that because he's afraid he'll lose his reelection. These guys
non-concurrence. That's a fancy word for no, huh?
Yeah. We don't. Well, it got passed out of the House, then it went to the Senate, then it came out of the Senate. It's taken it 10 years to get it out of the Senate. This thing has gone to the Senate so many times and been shot down so many times, and they finally got it out of committee, got it on the floor, voted for it, and then threw it out there. And now they got what they wanted, right? They got it passed out of the Senate. Instead of looking at this and saying, this is a half full glass, we'll fill it up later. Approved. Right. Instead of doing that, they're looking at it as half empty, and they're worried about what everybody's going to say about them, so they're going to kill it. And when that happens, I'm going to point to all of these people that are out there. This is an imperfect bill and it needs to be defeated. Okay, great. There you go. If you want to carry a gun, go get a permit, because you're not going to get permitless carry here because you guys just killed it. So enjoy.
Right.
You know. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. So I'm firmly convinced that you will never put your name on a ballot. I got it.
Well, here's the thing. I would put my name on a ballot, right? And I would go in there with the expectation I'm going to serve one term. But you will stick to your guns and won't run again, right? Being a member,
you would be the most dangerous person in the election.
That's right, I sure would. Being a member of the South Carolina State House, that only pays like $11,000 a year, so they're not doing it for the money. So I don't know what it's about. I have no idea why somebody would be in state politics here, unless you're, like some of the department heads, like state treasurer and the governor and things like that. They make a fairly decent salary. They can make a living off of that, but here in South Carolina, the actual legislators, they're still pretty much, citizen legislators who have to make a living somewhere else.
Right.
And because of that, I would sit back and say, well, let me go in here and see how much damage I can do. And when you guys beat me back because I gave you exactly what you wanted, you guys can sit back and, I'll be sitting back saying, did my best, and you guys didn't want it. So, okay, enjoy what you get. But see, here's the thing. This is the thing. I think if a politician would actually get out there and lead boldly,
okay,
I think they would be successful, and I think they could stay in office as long as they continue that way. And whatever happens with these guys, I had this talk with Trey Gowdy, I had this talk with Tim Scott. Whatever happens to these guys, somewhere along that line, they lose that, and maybe it's a lack of stamina. Maybe it's a realization. It's
the fact that they've been accustomed to being there and they forgot why they're there. They just know that they want to get back and stay there. And that gives you sufficient motivation to stray from your political ideas and start entertaining things that aren't in the Constitution. Yeah. I get it. I understand it. I don't condone it. I can understand that over a period of time that you could stray from your initial political ideals. I get it. Yeah. It happens.
That's fine.
So anyway,
that's fine. If
you're
that's
probably curious as to what I'm going to talk to you about on this glorious, beautiful meteorological. Man, I always have problems with that word. Meteorologically blessed data.
Meteorological.
But you got to make it an adverb. Put the ly on the end of it too.
Meteorologically.
Okay, see, man, you've had voice training.
Anyway, not only am I curious, but I'm very eager for us to move on from this before I sit over here and start throwing knives at the wall or something just to get my frustrations.
For those people yes, even you and perhaps some people in your listening audience, there's a big, giant national spectacle that's going to happen this upcoming weekend on Sunday, and it's in Tampa, Florida. And we know what that event is, right? This event is known as the what?
Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, yeah, and I get it. Some people are probably not really into sports so much these days as they were in years past, because there seems to be, on so many different levels, organizations are going woke, right? Going woke.
Hang on right there, if you will. Tell everybody how to find you, because we're going to the next break.
I am Rick Ector, Director Ector. I can be found at legallyarmedindetroit.com, Detroit CCW at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and yes, with Bill Frady on IMDb.
There you go. We'll be right back. This is Lock and Load.
Years, Aero Precision has paved the way as a leading manufacturer of American-made AR parts. Aero Precision caters to the rifle builder by engineering quality receivers, handguards, and other essential parts. Aero Precision's added enhancements create a smooth build process from start to finish for beginners and seasoned builders. Whether this is your first rifle or your 50th, Aero Precision offers everything you need to make a quality AR at an affordable price.
At Spikes Tactical, we are all shooters with a very simple mission. Make the best product we can perfect at the best possible price for our consumers. We strive to produce the best components and rifles available, with quality control second to none, because real-world events don't allow for a second chance. Whether you are an operator, competitor, or home defender, Spikes Tactical will serve you well. Go to spikestactical.com. Spikes Tactical, 100% American-made to the highest standard.
At Staccato, we know there's no such thing as a fair fight, and we bring the unfair advantage that is the 2011 platform.
Dominate.
At Staccato, we know the most important gun you own is the one that you're carrying when you're facing that threat to life and freedom.
Win.
We want you to enter that objective confident that you are carrying the best gun in the gunfight. No compromise. No sacrifice. Staccato2011.com. Stand ready to face down the darkness with 2011.
Holster.com, the home of DeSantis quality-built American-made products for 45-plus years. Supporting police and government contracts from first responders to responsible citizens. Holster.com is your source for quality American-made leather and Kydex holsters for the armed American. For concealed carry or open carry, Holster.com has what you need. We didn't invent concealment. We perfected it. Go to Holster.com now and buy a DeSantis holster today.
What's in a name? If that name is Ace Firearms, you've just entered a very expensive business. First, a fully appointed gun shop with all the guns, ammo, and accessories you could possibly imagine. But then you enter the manufacturing facility that is home to Red Alligator Concealment, Militia Arms Customs, and so much more. Ace Firearms is beyond a simple gun shop. This is a totally peerless operation. To find out more, go to acefirearms.com. Ace Firearms. This is only the beginning.
At MGS, we have what it takes to reinvent yourself. With a curriculum designed to balance work, family, and a gun repair education, MGS provides the gateway into one of the fastest-growing segments of the gun industry. Modern Gun School's mission is to provide high-quality distance education using time-tested materials and hands-on projects designed to develop a proficiency in both the technique and the business of gunsmithing. Go to mgs.edu. MGS Trade School. Your future is waiting.
Welcome back. This is Lock and Load, talking to Rick Ector, the director. He's talking about the Super Bowl. What are we talking about with the Super Bowl? Help me out with this. Help me.
Well, obviously, from my vantage point, I want to look at it from a personal protection standpoint, also from a public safety standpoint, this event, the Super Bowl, it has lost some of its luster, particularly with members of our community, the gun community, because a lot of sport events have gone so-called woke, right? And when they take certain political opinions and make certain people their spokespersons, it rubs a certain percentage of our listening audience the wrong way. But dare I say, I'm still a fan of football, and yes, I'll be checking out the Super Bowl. But as I'm going to be watching it this weekend, I can't help but imagine and think about all the security precautions that happen. On the one aspect, we're going to talk about the things that they're doing to make sure that it's a safe event, that it's not an attractive honeypot for terrorists to try to do something crazy and outlandish to get media attention and to say, bad things about America and our way of life and our political ideas. But, man, let's talk about it. If you were at the Super Bowl, or let's say they brought the Super Bowl to your environs of South Carolina, man, from a environmental management of that huge event conducted locally, what types of things, even if we had to go over the top, would we do to secure the people at the stadium and the people outside the stadium and the community against terror?
I don't know. I don't, and that's the thing. See, that I'm sure they take a lot of precautions on that. But one of the, I wouldn't go to it simply because I don't know what precautions they're taking. They're going to make me disarm.
If you want to be there on site inside the facility, they're going to declare it a gun-free zone, and you will be there without your sidearm. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, without me knowing, and I'm sure they're going to have a lot of security in place, but that's such a big target, right? And what have we seen? What have we seen coming out of, for example, Ukraine? We've seen them take commercial grade drones that a lot of people use as just a flying camera, and they've turned them into a weapons delivery system. And we know that we have a bunch of people in the interior that, as they say, they're military-aged males, and we don't know where they are. And getting out there and the idea that they could have some sort of security in place where they could stop a flurry of drones being flown overhead at the stadium and get them all before they drop some sort of and the idea that they won't have bombs like grenades. Right. We know that the Middle East, for example, has they got a little confab going with the cartels, so they can get anything they need. So, given that, I probably would not go to an event like that.
And there are some people who are avoiding such large, huge events because they believe that they are what's known as a honeypot. They are a very attractive target. But you know what? To no avail, they have been publicizing all of this security that they're going to be doing for the Super Bowl. And one of those, to address your point, is this no-fly zone, right? 30 miles in circumference around the actual stadium. No one will be able to fly a plane, let alone a drone, inside of this no-fly zone. Other things they're doing, they're talking about 1,700 cameras, real-time monitoring to try to identify and look for anything that looks suspicious. Man, how in the world do you man, staff, track, and pull actionable data from all of those devices in real time to get something done? I don't know. But these guys are the experts, and they claim that they can do it. We'll see. Let's see. What else can we do? Bomb-sniffing dogs, facial recognition software. They've even have a story out there where the government is actually tracking real-time private parties. If that isn't personally chilling, they know roughly how many parties are going on in private residences and businesses, and keeping a tab on those events and the people coming to and from those events, man. But as you stated before, no matter what you do, given the creativity of people who hate America and who hate our way of life, man, they will do what is required, man. Who knows? Maybe somebody wants to unleash some anthrax out into the crowd or some other biological weapon. I mean, you have a ton of people there who would be potential victims, and yeah, they could make a big splash in the media about their cause, however evil and twisted it is, man. But yeah, this is the world we live in, man. And the fact that we have not, in my opinion, I'm not going to put you on the spot, in my opinion, we haven't been doing a decent job of policing the border, that we have not been effectively evaluating who's coming into this country, who are people who are either drug mules or they're engaging in human trafficking, or whether they're bringing drugs or they're allowing these MS-13 gang people to come into our country. The bottom line, any of it and all of it is not good, man. And I'm hoping and praying that nothing negative happens at the event, but just giving people a general feel for what the government is doing to attempt to keep people safe. I think the best that they can do is track it and record it and try to catch the evildoers on the back end. But in terms of protecting yourself up front, during, I don't know if it's something they can do.
No, it isn't. It is not. The thing about drones is that you can be in the parking lot before you go through any of the checkpoints and have a van full of drones and launch them before they'll be detected and get them up over the wall. Because they'll go vertical fast. You don't have to fly. You don't have to fly them in. You don't have to worry about a no-fly zone because you're going to be in the parking lot.
Right. So,
but
you know what?
Tell you what. Tell everybody how to find you.
I am Rick Ector, NRA Director Ector. I can be found every week right here on Bill Frady's Lock and Load. Please check out my handle, Detroit60W, at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and IMDb.
And go look him up on YouTube. Go check out his YouTube channel. How many videos you got on YouTube?
Thousands, man. I have a lot that are out there. And it took me a while to do it, but let me tell you, just start.
And the TV appearances. Some of the TV appearances are the greatest TV appearances that have ever been known to the man. Or at least
I did a phone interview this morning. I'll put it up later on today.
There you go. There you go. He'll be throwing this around later on today. He'll be saying, "Give me the link," and I'll give it to him, and off it goes. We'll be right back. Talking to Rick Ector. He is the director. This is Lock and Load. Welcome back. This is Lock and Load, and I'm sure my man Rick here has been going, "Why are you raining on my parade all the time, Bill?"
No, man, look. It is what uniquely makes you you, Bill Frady, and that's why we're here. We're here for you and to hear your take on. No, you laugh, man. I am so serious, and we want to hear what you have to say about it. I mean, there's a ton of people out there that are talking about these things, but none of them are you and have your insight and your opinion on your pulse of what's going on in this great country. And yes, I still say that this country is great, warts and all, because it's better than any other country on this planet.
Everybody certainly seems to want to come to it, don't they?
They seem to risk life and limb to get here, and there's a reason, man. Freedom. It really is freedom. But, yeah, I got a interview request from a media outlet here this morning, man, and they wanted to talk to me about one of the 4 gun laws that we had shoved down our throats, which, curiously enough, they are effective. That is, that they will be enforceable on Valentine's Day.
Right.
You know, of course, I'm talking about domestic violence. We have a storage law. We have a long gun registration law. And, of course, yes, we even had red flag laws shoved down our throats. And these are things that we have to continue with Valentine's Day going forward. So, yeah, I received a call from a media station, and they wanted my thoughts on the mandatory storage law. And, you know, I've talked about that, you know, here on Bill Frady's Lock and Load. And, yeah, I'm even against storage laws. But I'm not following that rabbit hole today, man. Well, going back to what we were talking what? Go ahead.
Well, see, the thing about the storage laws is this. What happens, you guys have the storage laws now?
Starting Valentine's Day, we will.
Okay. So does this mean that when you're not in the middle of self-defense, all of your guns have to be locked away?
Well, if you own guns and then at home, you have to sufficiently secure them from anyone who is younger than 18 years of age.
So what if you have no one in the house that is under the age of 18?
Well, if no one's there, then you do not. Like, for example, I don't live with anyone, right? So I don't have to lock my guns up. But see, here's one of the curious questions, though. What if I don't have a gun locked up because I live alone, and let's say someone, for whatever reason, took their life, you know, didn't take it seriously and thought that they would come into my house hoping that I wasn't here, looking to find an unsecured gun. Now, if they took my unsecured gun that I wasn't required to lock up, does this juvenile with my gun, does that open me up to litigation or prosecution because they took my unsecured gun and did something bad with it?
Does it?
Well, I don't know. That's a legal question, but you know what? I'm not locking any guns up. I don't have any reason to do that.
Right.
For what point do I need to do that? How about you lock up your bad miscreants, your juvenile delinquents? How about you lock them in the house and protect general society and the public, including me? But no. You know, there are certain boundaries I won't cross, man. You know, protecting myself from my own guns in a home in which I live alone just doesn't seem to be, it doesn't seem to make any sense.
Right.
But anyway.
How do they enforce that? I mean, how do they,
you can't enforce it. I mean, unless you're going to have roving bands of gangs of governmental agents or the police conduct unannounced knocks on your door and announce and conduct a random search. I mean, how could they know? The only way that they could know is if some juvenile was in my house and gained access to an unsecured gun and either hurt themselves or hurt someone else. Then they could come after me for not locking up my gun. And you know what? It so sounds like something that should not happen in this country called America. But I digress.
Okay.
But with respect to this weekend, man, the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of people who are going to be out and about and attending Super Bowl parties and being out in the public or conducting parties at their residence out in public. Everything that we've talked about here on Lock and Load, man, is still in play. But from a focus standpoint, what safety considerations should we keep in mind if we're leaving our house to go out in the public and to be out there with everyone else while the Super Bowl is being broadcast on TVs at various different establishments?
Well, I guess my first question is going to be, if you're carrying a gun, are you going to drink? Because you shouldn't if you do.
No, you shouldn't.
So I guess in the event that if you're carrying a gun and you're not going to drink, then you should be good to go. I mean, I would think that the same basic set of rules, awareness, head on a swivel, make sure where you're at, that kind of thing. I would think all those things would still be valid, even if you're at a Super Bowl.
They are. And it drives home the point or the concept that I like to tell people when I conduct our concealed carry classes here in Michigan. Personal protection is not a sometime event. It is literally a lifestyle. And once you adopt that lifestyle, you take it with you everywhere you go, 7 days a week, 52 weeks out of a year. You know, you're not going to places that are not well lit. You're going to possibly be in areas where there's people around or someone close by. You're going to avoid pistol-free zones. You're going to maintain your situational awareness. Hopefully you'll have friends to accompany you. You're going to abstain from alcohol or marijuana or whatever substances that are out there that can befall you and get you into legal trouble. You're going to make sure that you don't drink and drive and get liquid courage and get into physical altercations with people. And you know what? You're going to avail yourself of rideshare apps if you are drinking out there in the public. But, yeah, basically you hit that nail right on the head. It is a lifestyle. It's something that you do every waking moment of every day that you still walk the earth. Yeah. Personal protection.
Yep.
It's a lifestyle.
I would think you could have a pretty good time. I mean, you don't have to be drunk to enjoy the Super Bowl. Right?
I mean, if you like football, then you like football. And, yeah, you don't necessarily have to drink. You know, I'm coping in the aftermath of Michigan winning the national championship, so there's no longer any college football, and this is professional football's last weekend coming up on Sunday. And so, yeah, and so then we'll have to, like, watch the Detroit Pistons, who are, like, really bad this year, man. But, you know.
Well, I was about to say, I mean, is football that's a big part of things for you? You enjoy the football a lot?
Well, I mean, you know, it's my sport of choice, and I like college football better than I do pros. And of course, my favorite team here is the Michigan Wolverines. But you know, we'll keep watching it, man. And of course, our coach, he left, and Jim Harbaugh is now going to be coaching the San Francisco 49ers he's going to? No, not the 49ers. He's going to one of these professional football teams.
Right.
And wish him luck and all of that. But the program's going to be good, man. But let me tell you, as a reminder to your listening audience, I would be remiss if I didn't remind them that, yeah, I'm on the ballot to be on the board of directors of the National Rifle Association. I was first elected this past April 15th. And, yeah, since I was voted the 76th director, I had a very short period of time before I have to go into re-election mode. And, yes, the ballots will be in your February designated NRA magazine. Pull it out, look for my name on the ballot, and circle that dot next to my name, sign it, properly affix postage and put it in your post box.
And that's going to have to be the last word because we have run out of time.
Hey, man, as always, it has been great to once again be on Bill Frady's Lock and Load. Be safe, be aware, and carry your gun.
Hour number 3 is inbound. This is Lock and Load.
Happy Super Bowl to all who celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you're like me, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. FanDuel has so many ways for you to end the season with a W, or 2, or 3. Not only can you bet on who will win Super Bowl 58, but FanDuel also has bets for which player will score a touchdown, how many points will be scored, and so much more. New customers, join today and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/sportsfan to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/sportsfan. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 plus and present in Michigan. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
Do you feel like you've tried everything, but you're still living with urinary or bowel urgency or leaks? The InterStim system has been chosen by 400,000 patients. Treatment with the InterStim system is prescribed by your physician, and not all patients will benefit. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you. Individual patient results may vary. Risks may include surgical, device, and stimulation-related complications. Learn about the InterStim system at talkleaks.com.